Hello everybody and welcome back. Exanima beta. As you can see, I'm in version 0.5.1.3, and if you are in if you've been on the Bare Metal website and if you're one of the people who crowdfunded or early backed Sweet Generous or Exanima, then you will know that they release a sort of a test patch of what's going to be going up on Steam just slightly before they actually implement a new patch onto the Steam versions, and that is what I'm playing at the moment. So that's likely to have a different number when it gets updated on Steam. It'll probably be 5.2 or something like this, but they just like to test it on a smaller group of people before they unleash the new versions to the wider audience. So if you're wondering how I'm playing an earlier version, or sorry, a more later version at this point, then that is why. Okay, so there's most of the changes have just been to do with the animations in movement, in combat, and making the character's movement look a little bit smoother and nicer, and that's very noticeable, I think, from what I've done already, although I've only really done arena so far in this version of the game. So and there's another quick thing that they've added, which is this isn't functional at the moment, I should point out. Like clicking the things doesn't do anything. These progress bars don't seem to move or be affected in any way, but it is just like a little teaser as to what's to come in terms of skills. So you can see we've got close combat, range combat, armor, shields, insight, concentration, and meditation, and all with 5 of their own skills apparently. And we are given some immediately. Now these are things which we have as a character already. Remise, immediately follow a swing with another in the opposite direction. Feint or feign, cease a feigned attack to quickly renew it. And fend, abandon your attack to quickly parry. So these are moves that we already have as part of our character, and they're going to be taken away from us when this skill tree gets eventually implemented, and we're going to have to invest in this, or perhaps not invest in this and invest in something else at the expense of some of these things. So really interesting to look at. I like the layout of it, and fascinating to see, especially these ones, especially fascinating to me. I'm interested to see what sort of things pop up in these categories. Nice to see shields getting their own little tree as well, and so we can specialize even further with our shield. And let's play. So it's been a while since I've done a video, so first off, apologies for that. I've just been sort of doing other things, and I've just taken my focus off doing videos a little, and hopefully now I'm going to get back into the swing of it, and we'll get nice regular videos and different content going up. And yeah, and this playthrough, I obviously wanted to record my audio simultaneously. There's something I think that is just a little bit better about the videos I've done in the past, where I've done the audio at the same time. And the other thing is, I'm not really like super obsessed about this being a walkthrough or a guide like the other videos. This is literally going to be me playing the game. I'm going to do a more in-depth full explore. If I die, then I'll show the death on camera, and if I take damage, I take damage. You know, I'm not going to be restarting, and whatever happens in this run through, you will see going up on YouTube. So hopefully it doesn't go too badly for me, and I can maintain sort of a respectable run, an attempt at a run. Although there's so many different factors to bear in mind when you're fighting in the campaign as opposed to arena. The darkness is a big one. Multiple enemies is another thing. Environmental issues, all those sorts of things. can really impact how well or badly things go for you. So I feel like I've gotten to a decent level in arenas now, and I'm just hoping that that practice will have served me well and carry through to the campaign. So we'll see. Just quickly grab a bit of gear. Do we want these green plants? Nah, I think we're okay actually. We've pillaged that corpse enough. Okay. And I mean, I want to do a more in-depth run, so I want to try and kill all the enemies, explore all the rooms, and oh, they're quite nice. Yeah, and do a bit of a more in-depth explore rather than just a direct run from one floor to the next to give directions or what have you. I'd rather take my time, see if I can find any new chests or loot, and do, especially on, not so much on level 1, because level 1 is, you know, I've got it pretty much wrapped up in terms of things to be found. But level 2, level 3, in my other videos, I don't really cover them well enough, I don't think. So, alright, we may as well start off by doing some lore reading, I suppose. So, just see if there's anything else here. So, this is the parchment that we start off with. So, this appears to be the second page of a letter. And assist him in whatever way you can, full stop. If all else fails, then recover any information he has gathered and bring it to me. I see great potential in you, prove yourself here, and you will earn a place at my side. Badly scribbled across the back of the page are the following words: there is another way out. Okay, so that's the one we start off with, and then this is the one we've just picked up of this guy. Dearest Mathis, Elora has disappeared. Many have gone missing of late, but bandits in the area are not uncommon. Elora, however, does not travel. Why would they have taken her? I dread to think what they might do to her. I thought of a ransom, and so I am ashamed to admit I thought of you. But there have been no requests for ransom, just more and more missing. I assume news of these events has not reached Ardent. Ardent, by the way, is the setting for this, and it's the name of the place where we're going to be in Sui Generis, and also, I imagine, the place where we are now in Exanima. It's been a long time since we've seen a proctor. What am I to do, dear cousin? Will you at least advise me? Tessa. So, interesting letter. Mathis. I mean, we assume that this guy is Mathis, but it's I think it's best not to assume too much with lore like that. I'm interested to know what people's opinions are on the bits of lore that I find. So let me know with a comment if you have a comment to make about any particular piece of lore, maybe something that you would like to expand on, or something that you would like to explore, or what's the word, speculate on. Then I'm interested to hear that. And okay, so we have a book, log of rations of food. In each entry, the same 3 items are listed over and over. Numbers received and distributed are given. Then next to that, a strange signature and what must be a date. So grab that and add that to our pile. And the enemy with an axe doesn't seem to be around, which is kind of fortunate, but I would quite like to fight him at the same time, so quite like to kill all of the enemies in this run, so hopefully he'll show up somewhere. Oh, is he here? Nope, this is Candlestick Lady. The famous Candlestick... Actually looks like a Candlestick Man? No, I think it is Candlestick Lady. We're about to get attacked by the other one that was lurking down there. I'm more worried about the Candlestick for its potential to do severe damage to us, but the stick, not so worried about. And there we are, not too much of a difficulty. Good job the guy with the axe didn't come running along and charging into the fight. So, I mean, I suppose I could just go to this other room and... Aha, we found him. Yeah, and take on the two enemies that are in that room as well. I don't usually do it. And... I can't really find a good reason why you wouldn't skip that room. But in the interests of this run being more in depth, then we're gonna open it up and take it on. Okay, I'm glad that that fight went well, without any incident. And we'll go for these guys. Something that I don't normally do, and so it's nice to have a bit of a change, see if anything has changed in this area since I last went in. Okay, we've got our hair caught a bit there. So the stretchy hair bug's still going on, and I'm just going to quickly get rid of that because it can cause some issues with... it causes like a little bit of a slow motion effect sometimes, so I'll just try and get rid of that. Okay. Well, that was interesting. So it seems that you can sort of cause enemies to not be aggressive by doing that, going in and out of that menu. This fight could be going better. I mean, we've got a candlestick and a shoddy bit of wood. This really shouldn't be an issue for us, especially when they kill each other so effectively. Although, yeah, not ideal. Took a bit of damage there, but no red damage, so that's the main thing. And do actually get a bit of an upgrade off that guy. Nothing else of note. Let's just have a quick look in this room. See if there's any new chests or anything else of interest in here. Nothing too obvious. That's the barricaded door from the other side, so yep, we'll move on. I suppose we may as well have a quick look in this room. Oh. Ah, another book. I must always miss this one. Because this is quite a skippable room, I suppose, so let's have a look at this book. Detailed log of various materials being delivered and dispatched. The script and some of the spelling seems very unusual. What you assume must be dates have a format that you can't make sense of. What you assume must be dates have the format you can't make sense of. So it's interesting our character can't actually understand the dates on anything. This actually looks like a chest. Huh. Well, I don't know if that's a new trunk or if it's one that was there and I just avoided because the chests used to be reasonably useless, but now we know that there's a nice bit of extra loot there. We can incorporate that into our run-throughs of the game. So a quick look in these two rooms again. So nothing has obviously changed in there. I don't think there's actually a mace around these parts somewhere. I just actually haven't come across it yet. I just noticed on one of the maps that someone has done for Exanima that they've marked a mace in one of these rooms in this, well, in level 1 at least. I'd have to go and double check that map though to have a chance at finding it. I think I haven't found a mace myself on the first level, but I believe that it exists. So right, so we go grab our compass, clear some enemies out of this area, and well, nobody immediately around, so let's make a situation for ourselves. No reason for me not to have my shield out, actually. Let's see if I can quickly just... Ooh. Close one. These pillars, by the way, are a really good way of getting enemies stalled up, and if you're worried or if you're fighting more than one, then running down this area and sort of encouraging them to all jump into these pillars is a good way to avoid taking too much damage. So the axe that I've mentioned already in my previous videos, it's a nice weapon. I urge you to try out the two-handed weapons. I've been doing it more and more and having some nice success with them. And yeah, apart from the blunt ones, so the hammers and the mauls, I'm not a big fan of personally, but the bladed ones I've grown more and more accustomed to using and I'm more comfortable with. So I'm going to be showing some of that in Arena in some videos that I will upload soon, and I think we already have one of these, right? Yeah. And so I don't know if I want to take different different weapons during a run through just yet. I'd quite like to just carry on the way that I know works and the way I'm pretty sure I can get a good run through, rather than sort of on camera risk trying out new weapons too much. Although I may do a little bit of that later on. Okay, so we've got our compass. We're good to go. Oh, it's been such a long time since I've done any campaign that I'm getting a little bit accustomed to it again. Let's fight this guy because we can. Bit of a dangerous one. I mean, really, you should probably avoid this fight, but would quite like to kill all the zombies. And I've just remembered we've missed one with the metal pole in the toilet. So, oop. Okay, I wasn't quite sure if he was dead then, but we've got down. And another one over here. I think this is the other guy with the saw blade. So another one to be careful of. It's going to be interesting to see how much more difficult these fights are early on when we lose those abilities and we have to skill into them. Dev's saying that we're going to feel like noobs again. We're all going to feel like we are back to being noobs. So I'm really looking forward to that update when the skills get implemented and all that stuff. It's going to be really interesting to see how the game plays and feels. Okay, yeah, he's in here, isn't he? Who knows? Maybe a chest got added to this enemy, and there is a reason to go and kill him now. But we'll find out. Oh, I've just lost control a little bit there. Be careful of spinning in 180s. It's usually because of where your mouse pointer is positioned. If it happens to you a lot, then just pay real close attention to where your mouse pointer is, and hopefully that should improve for you. But yeah, occasionally I get caught into that situation as well, where spin round in 180s and I suddenly have to adjust and work out what's going on. Right. One thing I've learned about this game is look in and on everything. Alright, so still no real reason to go and kill him, but we did it anyway, so it was fun. I'm trying to think if there's any more enemies or things to do here. I actually think I may have missed a book in this room, maybe? Yep. There we are. Read the book. Log of work orders. It seems as though many people were involved in completing them. Most of the names seem strange, and many items are described with words you have never seen before. We are in a strange and alien land. So that's, I believe, all the lore collected from this area, so let me know if I'm wrong, by the way. I could well be wrong. I've done no research into what other people have done. I still haven't really been watching other people play Exanima. This is just based on everything that I've found already, so myself. So there is a chance that I've missed things. Let me know. Take on Mr. Axe Guy. Well, it was quite tough actually. He took more hits than some of the ones in Arena would have, but some of our opponents in Arena, but never mind. The bill. I'm kind of tempted to use this. This I like as a weapon, and I think the reason for it is if we look at its stats and compare it to the machete, for example, the balance, very similar. The slash damage, the end of the bill, you can kind of use it like it's a hockey stick. I might have a go with the bill actually. We'll grab it and we might have a go with that a bit later. But yeah, it's one of the weapons that one of the two-handed weapons that I've really grown to like using and have grown accustomed to. So I believe this is just a little empty room still. If you want an early metal pole, then help yourself to some early weapons there in this room, and we'll go and grab our sword. I seem to manage to always choose the wrong key first and have to cycle through them. But not to worry. And usually we have an enemy that's just sort of wandering around in here. Might be nice to get them down first. The fights in this area are a little bit more dangerous than some of the others we're facing earlier on. So it's a little bit unnervingly quiet at the moment. I think we will go and grab the sword before we do anything else. Just get the light down here somewhere. Hopefully there isn't too much darkness. You can manage. Another bit of a 180 spin there, and it's not ideal. However, I think that time it was more to do with the blows that were in incoming on my attempts to strike that enemy spun me around. Okay, we as well, we're a little bit fortunate not to take some red damage there. That although that's just a board with a nail, it can sometimes spill over and do the red damage. So always a nice moment for me to grab this weapon. My fighting style just seems to improve so much when I get it. So glad to get that one under my belt. And we do need the tunic upgrade, so through these ways. Let's just get ready for a fight again. The lighting was a bit of an issue actually in that last fight, but never mind. We'll try and sort of negotiate the darkness in this one a little better. Another weapon to be really careful of. It kind of looks like a stick at first, and that can give you a bit of a false sense of security with it, but it can very much do the red damage to you if he connects well with it. So be really careful fighting against enemies with those polearm weapons. And yeah, so get a nice little leather vest for ourselves. It replaces this tunic, which is actually a little bit weak. So I'm just trying to think. There must surely be more enemies in this area. There's at least another one. We'll just have a little hunt around and see if we can find any. Oh well, would you look at that? Another chest. Another one that I must always miss. Although it may well have been added since I have even played campaign in a later patch or what have you. But yeah, I haven't really played a campaign since I last did my recordings actually. My level 1, 2 and 3 sort of walkthrough guides, yeah, that's the last time I really played a campaign. So stuff may have been added, but as well that I hadn't done a full explore since the content patch got added. So, and also there's these chests, I would have been inclined to skip over them before we had randomized loot, so a lot of the time they just weren't included in the way and directions that I was running. So that would be why. Okay, so we may as well go onwards to this next area. Straight into one of the worst enemies. I really just need to get into some light so this doesn't become a fight shrouded in darkness. Yeah, I do like getting I like the feeling of getting her down. She's one of the more dangerous ones in this area, and she also wanders around. You can find her in all sorts of different places, and it's nasty fighting any enemy with a big axe, I think. Also an interesting spiked club. Stats on it are actually pretty poor. The crush and pierce 1-1 balance, even the balance isn't that great. Impact is obviously quite nice. I've had a go for using it. It's quite a nice weapon, but I'd always favour other one-handed weapons over it. So okay, another place that I tend not to show on camera, but a couple of books over here, and they are just dusty old log books, but still nice to have them. And yep, another shot at some loot, some more lore. So just one guy standing in our way. With quite a nice belt, it has to be said. So not too tough for us. We've got better trousers than that. We may as well grab the belt. We will eventually want a belt, so it's nice to have one ready. I have, however, found in the past a belt that says it's well made rather than simple, so I'm also going to be on the lookout for that. And let's in fact, I'm just going to do a little bit of editing now, where I just pause for a few minutes, get myself a little bit of a drink, and then I'll I'll transition it right back to where I am. But be right back.